In a world where carbs are your enemy, you need one man to help you fight your battles. That man is Jimmy.
Combating nutrition disinformation and general bull. It's Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another Instagram Live. And we're here with another episode of Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website, and we do this show on a daily basis. So if you're not already following me over on Instagram so you can engage live in the content, go to Instagram, follow at Livin' Low Carb Man, LIVINLOWCARBMAN. Once you're there, you can engage in the content live, just like all of my regulars are coming in right now. If you missed the live, you can watch it on replay for up to 24 hours on Instagram. But after 24 hours, it does disappear from Instagram. That's why we throw them all over onto YouTube for you guys. Almost 180 episodes now. So we've been doing this for a little while. So go follow me on YouTube if you missed the past episodes. And then finally, we have the best of the best moments of this here show in podcast form over on the Jimmy Rants podcast on Apple Podcasts. And brand new, it just came to Stitcher. So if you're not already listening to the Jimmy Rants podcast, go and check it out, subscribe, and leave us your review. JimmyRants.com is the website. Today's Jimmy Rants is all about all of this morass of information that we have at our fingertips. The internet is a beautiful thing because it gives you instant access to all of these amazing resources, which give you information. And so people who are looking for information about keto, looking for information about fasting, looking for information about doing a carnivore diet, looking for really anything to do with anything, but in my space, health is what people are looking for. And so they're always looking for more and more information about how to improve their health through their diet and lifestyle choices. But there's something that's very bad with all this access to information. One person says, oh, you need to have carb up days in order to be doing keto to normalize your hormones. This side says, oh, no. You don't ever want to carb up. You want to be strict keto all the time. And somebody else said, oh, no. You need to make sure you remove the FODMAP foods out of your diet. No, over here. No. You've got to put in a little bit of resistant starch to feed your gut microbiome. And Can I get a witness, anyone? So what I want to talk about here today is paralysis by overanalysis. And I wonder how many people are sabotaging their efforts on keto because they're trying to overthink it. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm in the business of sharing information and making it palatable and understandable and giving lots of information for people to hear. I do 6 podcasts a week now, and I'm writing books about this. But I'm the first to tell anyone, you can get overwhelmed if you let yourself get overwhelmed. And so I think it's a good idea to educate yourself and have all this information at your fingertips and have the understanding of what the information means. What I do not think it means, though, is that every little thing you hear about online needs to necessarily be adhered to and followed 100% by everybody who hears it. Okay, are you hearing me on this? So if you see information that's out there, let's just go to fasting, for example. You look online, there are some websites that are saying, oh my gosh, if you are a woman, you should absolutely never fast. It'll mess up your hormones. You'll never have kids, blah, 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 blah. And you could read what this person or people have to say And it could scare you if you believed it literally for all women. But the way I view that kind of information is I go, okay, that's really fascinating that that happened to that person. But then I'll read someone else, a woman who has done fasting and is able to do extended fasting. My sister, by the way, my sister Beverly, she's been doing keto for a little while, and she likes to up the game a little bit sometimes. She just finished, and I'm so proud of her, she just finished a 21-day fast on Sunday. 21 days. Like, dang, girl, I've only done that a few times, but I'm in this space. She did that on her own. She wanted to see how she'd do. Her church was also having somewhat of a fasting challenge. And so I can see things like that happening, and people will embrace that and go, wow, if that happened for her, surely I could do something like that too. And so in that instance, you take what you can apply to your own life. You let go of the people that are trying to be naysayer. And that's how you consume the information. So if you're just joining us, we're talking about this whole idea of how we have so much information at our fingertips about how to do keto, about what you should do to optimize your health, and various things. And I think sometimes people get so paralyzed by all of the information that they try to assimilate it all in their head of, I've got to be doing all this stuff, that they don't end up doing any of it because they become paralyzed by it. And I'm saying, let's don't make keto that hard. Let's stop overthinking this. Let's stop thinking we have to do every little thing that you hear on every little podcast and every social media post that you see. Now, that said, I do think there are things you can apply and try in. You can cycle it into what you're doing just to see how you do. I'm a big self-testing fan. I think most people can get benefit if they try something for a period of time. I just finished doing a 28-day keto carnivore experiment just to see what that would do for me, and it showed incredible results for me. So now I'm going to continue that. But see, people then might say, well, I want to try upping some supplement in my diet to see how I feel. That's cool. If it's something that you've heard that makes sense for you, that you feel like you want to see if you can get benefit from, that is the way you take the information that you get from the internet. What you don't do is go, well, this person says this, and this person says this, and this person, and they just go crazy trying to follow everybody. Okay? Think about it this way. Go get a little controversial. Think about it this way. So let's say you are on one side of the political aisle, and then the other side of the political aisle says something exactly the opposite, and there's someone there in the middle going, okay, who do I believe? And if I believe both, they saying opposite things, so it can overwhelm you. So it's at that point you figure out what is your philosophy. And same with nutrition. You figure out what your personal philosophy on health is. And if it's a lower carb, higher fat diet, great. If it's a lower carb, higher protein diet, great. If it's a moderate carb, moderate fat diet, great. You figure out what it is. And then within that template of who and what you are, then you add in any new knowledge that you learn. Okay? So let's end this paralysis by overanalysis when it comes to the nutritional health information that is out there, because you really, really will sabotage every bit of your efforts that you're trying to go towards keto. It's by overthinking it. Don't overthink it. Take what makes sense to you and let go of the rest. And if at some point you're like, something that you let go, you're like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have dismissed that so quickly, then at least you have it in your arsenal of things in your head that you've at least been exposed to. I'm not opposed to reading about things that I disagree with. I'm not opposed to hearing that information, because at some point in my life, that information might be important and might be relevant for that period of time in my life. But if I didn't ever expose myself to it, I would not have that information. So the bottom line here, paralysis by overanalysis, please do not sabotage your keto efforts by overthinking any of this. All right, let's see what you guys have to say. Welcome in, welcome in. Thank you for being here. New follower after I heard you on the Keto Connect podcast. Well, welcome, Kings. I love those Keto Connect guys. Matt and Mega do a really good job, and we were honored to be on their podcast recently. Joshua says, I tinker with my lifestyle change and have found a lot of things that don't work for me, but a lot that has. It took me 43 years to get here. Going to take a little while longer to fix it all. Yeah, I think that's a good perspective of just keep trying things. And when you try things, it doesn't mean what you're doing right now is necessarily a bad thing. But anybody who is so closed-minded and myopic in their thinking to think that keto alone, the way that they're doing keto now alone is going to give them all the benefits that they could, that's silly. It's one reason why I do infrared sauna and do ice bath therapy, and sleep optimization and meditation and all these things that could add value to it. Does that mean everybody should be doing all of those things? No, but it's things that I've found have helped me. Joshua did say it can be overwhelming. Yeah, if you let it be, it could be incredibly overwhelming. And it's something I'm trying to, in my teaching and in my sharing here on these Jimmy Rants, is to say, hey, look, don't let it overwhelm you. Just get the information, apply what you can. You know, it's a bad analogy for what I'm talking about here, but think about a buffet. You go to an all-you-can-eat buffet. Would you eat every single thing? Or some people might, but would you eat every single thing that you see on the buffet all in one sitting? No, you wouldn't. You would pick and choose those things that seem most appealing to you, that you feel like you would want, and then you do those. And then maybe the next time you come back to the all-you-can-eat buffet, then you try some things differently. And I want you to look at your lifestyle in the same way. You're choosing the things that you're doing now based on what seems most appealing to you, what's going to give you the most benefit in your ketogenic lifestyle. And then maybe when you decide you want to kind of change things up a little bit, a la what Jimmy Moore just did with the keto carnivore, then you can choose other things that are on the menu, but you don't have to have them all at the same time. And I think this is a mistake a lot of people make is, well, I know I need to get vitamin D levels and I need to get this supplement and that and take this and do that. And they just kind of go round and round and round, where at the end of the day, let's just do keto and make that the base and then add things to there. So get your diet dialed in, and then from there, add in these other things. Keto Stephalophagus says, people also try and mimic exactly my style. And I'm like, yeah, what works for me isn't right for you. Yeah, Steph, I learned this very quickly when I did my nutritional ketosis experiment back in 2012, 2013. I posted online and I was doing an 85%, 12%, 3% fat, protein, carbohydrate ratio. So all of these people started writing to me and saying, I'm eating an 85, 12, 3. And I'm going, no, that's what worked for me. I'm not telling you to do anything of the kind. And yet people like to exactly mimic what others are doing just because those others got success. Loving every minute of ketosis. Going back to the basics helps so much. Always. Let that be your default. If at any point you feel like you've kind of gone off the rails, read a book like Keto Clarity. Learn the basic concepts all over again. You'll be surprised how many things creep into your lifestyle because you've tried this and you've tried that because of all these things you've heard. And then before long, you're so far away from the basics of what keto was to begin with that sometimes just going right back to the basics again will get you back on track. Thriving on fat. Whoa, you mean I can actually change my views on diet without being a fraud? This is one reason I have always found the vegans to be a laughingstock. because most of those guys have the exact same talking points that they had 10 years ago, 15 years ago when I first started doing this. And it's like, is there no new information that has come out in the last 15 years that would make you go off of what you believe now? Meanwhile, in that same period of time, I went from just cutting carbs to now improving my food quality, to then improving the metabolism by going to more of a ketogenic approach, to then adding in, okay, maybe I should be a mostly meat-based eater. And you constantly add to the knowledge, and then doing all these biohacks along with keto. This is how you grow. This is how you continue to expand the knowledge without getting overwhelmed, without overthinking it, without being paralyzed by all of this information that's out there. My daughter's standing over my shoulder saying, play my video, play my video. Yes, Josh's little girl mimicked my, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to another Instagram Live. And she nailed it. She was good. I always say, eat the meat, spit out the bones with info. I love it. I love it. Yeah. Get what's actually nourishing. Although there is a little bit on the bones, nutrition as well, but definitely eat the meat. I definitely am a researcher, overanalyzer, and I read so much that I do get overwhelmed, says loving every minute of ketosis. Then just go back to the basics, add a few things to see if it works for me. And think of it in the same way of going to the gym. You would not like go all out, all over your body, all at one time. No, you're going to work one set of muscles at a time, and you're going to try to improve and strengthen those muscles. So maybe today is an arm day, but tomorrow is a leg day, and the next day is a back day, and you work those different parts. You've got to think of your lifestyle in the same way. You're not going to work everything all at the same time. You're going to do one thing today. You're going to get good at it. Then, as you're getting good at it and you continue it and keep it going, you add something else at that point. I think what happens is people try to add too much too fast, and that's what overwhelms them. Don't let it get to that. Get good at what you're doing with anything new before you ever add in something else to throw a monkey wrench in it all. This is also where people can use a coach to help them, have a person to help them along the way. Yes, thriving on fat. I agree. A coach, a nutritional counselor, someone who can help them. There's definitely a lot of really, really great people out there doing this kind of work. So for sure. Anita said, my dad used to say, take what's good, leave the rest alone. Your dad was a wise man, or is a wise man. Kings 71611 says, nursing is a blessing because the doctor said to just focus on the foods and not calories too much, and no supplements till I'm done nursing my son. Good advice. Good advice. So if you're just joining us, what we're talking about here today is how all of this information about keto can get overwhelming, and it can get to the point where you have so much information coming at you by reading online and listening to podcasts and even watching these Jimmy rants. Maybe you're like, oh my gosh, how do I apply all of it? And what I'm trying to encourage you today is don't get paralyzed by over-analyzing all of this information, that you basically end up sabotaging your keto by overthinking all of this. Apply little things here and there, and it makes all the difference in the world. Hello, Rachel. I see my friend Killing It Keto has just arrived. Go follow her, by the way, Killing It Keto. I'm going to see Rachel this weekend, Rachel Gregory, at the Metabolic Health Summit. So excited to see you, Rachel. Kings 71611 said also, they said that fat is the most important to make sure I'm eating enough of. Oh, never let that doctor go. If you've got a doctor that's saying that to you, that is like the pay dirt of finding a medical professional who doesn't fear fat. So, all right, guys, so don't overthink this, you guys. It's not worth all of the belly aching that people make about, oh my gosh, this nutritional health thing is so hard. How do you do everything? Don't do everything. Stick to the basics. Do the basics, and then when you're ready, add in something new. So last year, for the very first time, I added in infrared sauna. Last year, for the very first time, I added in regular HIIT training, high-intensity interval training, flipping a tire on a regular basis. Last year, I implemented ice bath therapy. Last year, I got this little thing called a muse that I put on my head that would help me to meditate and stay calm. Those are the things that you do, but I did them methodically. I didn't just do them all at one time and say, okay, let's see how this goes. No, you have to be ready for it and let your body be ready for it. And when you put your body in that position to accept these things and then you get good at them, then they become a part of your regular routine. Then you can add in new things. So read up on things, learn about things, and when the time comes, add them to your lifestyle. And if it doesn't work, then let it go and don't do it again. But if they do work, then you've got something new that's putting you one step closer to achieving your goal of optimal health. All right, guys, that's it for this episode of Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website. As always, hop on over to JimmyRants.com. You'll see that this is a pretty darn unique show. We start off on Instagram Live. And Rachel, I've got to get you on one of these Jimmy Rants this weekend, so let's make that happen. But Jimmy Rants on Instagram Live. So Livin' Low Carb Man, LIVIN LOWCARBMAN. That is how you start on the show. I engage live in content with all of these beautiful people down here. It's up on replay for 24 hours on Instagram. So if you missed the live, watch the replay for up to 24 hours. After 24 hours, it does disappear from Instagram, but we throw all the past episodes up on YouTube. So go follow me on YouTube, type in Jimmy Rants. You will find the show. And finally, we have a Jimmy Rants podcast, which has the best of the best moments of this here show in podcast form. It's on Apple Podcasts and now available on Stitcher. So go follow me there. JimmyRants.com is the website with all these links. So until next time, we'll see you then.